For lots of people who maybe only see you on a Saturday, apart from you're normally in a suit, they see you as a normal fan because you're normally shouting and guldering and jumping about like the rest of us. But what is it like to be chairman of an Irish League club?
Well, first and foremost, as I said earlier there, I never had that thought that I would ever be a chairman of the football club, and it's something I never aspired to be. I am a fan first and foremost, and I will remain a fan. And anybody that watches me watching a game of football will tell you I am a fan. I'm also extremely proud to represent Coleraine, not only at the AFA but also on the NIFL board. And I do my best to represent the club in a fair and reasonable manner for everyone. Being chairman on a match day has its role, and you have your duties to fulfil, but inwardly I don't feel any different to anybody standing in the terraces, and I personally have never felt anything different like that.
And sort of describe to us, whenever you sort of stepped in, where the club was at.
The club had came out of the administration period. And I do know the people who had all come together at that stage to pull the club through those times, set the club up again and get things up and running. The people who were involved at the club deserve, or who were involved at that time, deserve an immense amount of credit for the time, effort and what they've done to get this club back up on running on its feet again. Jim Watt and people like that, John Mayers, Raymond Kirk, Nevin Oliver, those were the key people who were instrumental in bringing a group of people back together again, getting Hugh Wade back involved, getting Andy McGowan, TBF Thompson, who went on to become director and club president, unfortunately passed away there quite recently, and you know, Raymond Pullock and a number of people there all came together. And I would fear, I don't think the club would be here if those people hadn't shown the vision, leadership and the dedication and hard work that they put in to ensuring that the club, we had something to hang on to.
Since you've been involved, what do you think has been your biggest success, or even your biggest highlight so far, might be even the better way of putting it, because success is defined in different ways, but the thing that you've enjoyed the most since being chairman?
It's watching the club evolve, watching the club expand into a number of different areas. You could define what's your greatest moment by Maribor, which will live long in the memory. But I look at a bigger picture, a wider picture, that we want more people involved. We want the people of the town to feel part of Coleraine Football Club. We want that community feel about the club. And obviously we have plans in place to going forward, and we would look for the fans and others to come and get involved. It's not about the directors in Oran running Coleraine Football Club.
Yeah.
Not at all. This is about openly bringing more people in and seeing what we can do and opening up to everyone.
It's clear the fans have a strong relationship with Oran. What makes him, in your opinion, so special?
I've watched Oran evolve as a manager. When Oran was with Limavady, because Trevor, my brother, was with him, and I saw a few games at that stage as well, Oran had a decision to make in Limavady, and which everybody was doing as the old B division, if you want to call it that, which is now the championship. You either go one of two ways. You go by tried and tested Premier League players who are dropping down a division to play out the rest of their careers, or you take a decision, I'm going with youth. It went with youth, and they had done exceptionally well. But I didn't know Oran personally at all, really, at that stage. But when he came here, it was the first thing was his attention to detail. He left no stone unturned in ensuring the players had everything when they needed it, when things were there, times, ensuring things were all there for the players. Now, he's a player's manager, but he will also stand aside and take leadership and guidance from the board, and will obviously act in the best interest of the football club, and has done at all times. when Oran went away and when he came back again, you talk about how he picked that up again. My personal opinion, I believe he came back a better manager. I believe he came back a more structured, detailed, and had a greater vision, and you could see what he was wanting to do, but had a greater confidence in delivering it. And that also has its effect on the board, because there's demands then laid on us to be successful. So we have got to step up to the plate as a board and say, well, okay, this is what the manager wants, and this is the vision. And I think that's why he's been able to step back in again, pick up where he's left off, confidence in his own ability, and also the attention to detail and knowing the people he's working with and setting out his stall. So I think that's how I would explain it as best I can, Dave.
One of the other questions that I'm sure you get asked regularly is with regards to where we're at with regards to the regeneration of the stadium and the grounds around that. And we know plans happen and then grants are applied for and then maybe don't come through and have to change, and there's been a number of different changes. What would you say is the latest update for the fans with regards to where, even things from the pitch to the stadium to training facilities, where we're at with that?
To outline what we're really looking at here, and I can't go into it in too much detail, we're also looking at the plans at this moment in time, but we're looking at a three-phase approach. Mainly, we've got an immediate need, a secondary need, and a nice-to-have, hopefully further down the line with the sub-regional finance that we can apply for. To elaborate on that, is the phase one is our immediate need is our main pitch. Yep. We have a decision to make there. But we've got to be careful, does that impact on our planning for further development of the stadium further down the line. So that's all being, at this moment in time, taken into account. Our second phase is the redevelopment of our back pitch playing area and the front forecourt area, opening that up and putting a 3G facility plus a pavilion, sports pavilion, gym, sports science centre at the back, hopefully with other partners, be that our local council, maybe in tandem with the university or whatever. We're open to discussions at this moment in time, and we haven't closed any doors whatsoever. And our final phase would be the redevelopment of the stadium here to make it into a category, I think it's category 2, that we can, a 68,000 seater stadium. Now that would be the end goal, and that would be the golden ticket, so to speak, but you have to have the vision. If we don't have the vision, we'll never get the end goal. So we as a board have sat down, we've looked at the plans have been laid to us. We are currently in negotiations at this moment in time to ensure that those plans will then be submitted through council, and hopefully at the same time we will have additional funding to assist funding that the club currently have at this moment in time.
The club is a semi-professional football club with not that many full-time staff, so it relies heavily on a strong volunteer base. What does that mean for a football club, and how does that impact a football club?
Well, quite simply, we couldn't operate without the generosity of all of our volunteers. We take our stewarding team, we take our gate people, we take our hospitality ladies that look after us exceptionally well in normal times, and the playing staff, they look after everyone. We take our social club staff, groundsmen, people who assist our groundsmen, lottery sellers, and hopefully I'm not forgetting anybody, because I'm not purposely forgetting anybody, but it wouldn't matter who it is. The media team, Dave, of which you're part of, which has been exceptional. The Maribor, we were highly commended in how we reported all of that back. And you talk about how the club has evolved. Well, that's one very, very good area. We've now got Simon as our finance director. Everything is run. We've got our subcommittees that bounce off our main committee and report to our board. Our friends of Coleraine, You know, the owners of the football club, the people who are selling the bricks in the wall, for example, small things like that there, might seem small, but they're great to us that help the club, you know. Start to add that all up, add that all together, and if you were talking about the numbers of people it takes to put a game of football on here on a Saturday, it's significant. And it is the same for every club. But we're fortunate we have so many people who are willing to help, and every single one of them are valued. Every single one. For me, the volunteer base of this football club is second to none.